Hey guys, welcome to the show. And today I just want to give you 7 questions that you should ask yourself when you have a business idea that you want to execute and you have decided that this is the right business for you. In the next 5 minutes, I'm just going to quickly run through those 7 questions and they're going to help you in setting up your business a lot better. Okay, so number one is how exactly does this business make money? The first question and the most important question is how does this business make money? You need to know all the ways through which in running this business you can make money. Are there steps along the way? Are there ancillary products, ancillary services, or ways and forms in which the product or the service needs to be delivered for you to make money? You need to write all that down. Make sure you research that and you know that. Number two question, who is the right customer for this product or this service? Define who the customer is, because that will help you in targeting them with ads. That will help you in knowing where to go and offer this service to them. That will help you in knowing what sort of competition you would have for their attention, what sort of competition you would have for from their wallet, what else is competing with them in buying your goods or your service. Because if you want to sell to people in a certain segment of the market, there are of course items that are competing for attention just as much as your own product. Of course, food is always number one there, but that's something you must find out. And once you know the right customer you're selling to, then what is the size of that market? That's the next question. What is the size of the market for this product? Since you know this is the customer you want to sell to, how many of such customers can you find in your target location or where you are selling the product? Because if you release a product in a market where your target customer isn't so many, then you might find that you are not able to actually sell a lot because you are in the wrong location where those customers are not available. So who is the right customer? Question number two. Number three is how many of such customers can you get in the location where you are selling or releasing that product? So what's the market size for that product? Question number four is, can I run this idea alone or do I need a team? If I need a team, it's a team on what? Okay, so you need to identify if this is a product you can run by yourself to start. For instance, maybe you can run the pilots by yourself, or you can start to run the first few phases of this particular idea by yourself. You need to find that out. Or if you need to put a team around you to handle different aspects of the business. Okay, and that's quite related to question number 5, which is what are the areas of weakness for you regarding this particular idea? And I want to bring up 4 particular things you should pay attention to. Number one is selling. How strong are you at selling? Are you a very good persuasive person who is actually able to persuade people to buy a product or a service? Selling, that's number one area you need to assess yourself in terms of weakness. Number 2 is technology. The technology that will be required for delivering your product or service, in actually either producing the goods. How skillful are you in handling that technology? Do you know how to run the process yourself, or do you have to go and get people who can actually run that process for you, who can run the machines for you or run the operations for you? Technology is something you must assess very well. What are your technology requirements? How strong are you in handling those technology requirements as a business owner? Number 3, which is also very important, is accounting, bookkeeping. How good are you with bookkeeping? How good are you with numbers? A lot of small businesses fail because the owners do not manage the business very well from a numbers perspective. So they don't even know, they can't track effectively what is actually going out and what is coming in. What's your burn rate? What's your capital reserve? They don't know a lot of very critical numbers that they need to know about their business. As a result, they manage it poorly and then they run the business into the ground. So you need to understand what your numbers are, and of course you may often be somebody who may not be able to handle that, so you may need to get an accountant or someone else to run the books for you. Number 4, which is also very critical, is your branding, the image of the business. Are you someone who can project that right image for the business, or do you need to hire brand ambassadors, people that have goodwill, that you want to be associated with your business? You need to consider that also in hiring the kind of people that are going to hire in the business. Will they be able to project a good image for your business. So those are 4 key areas you should assess yourself on when it comes to weakness, in terms of what are your weaknesses concerning the idea. Of course, you also want to always think about funding, but that's a separate business. That's a separate question entirely. Then, that brings us to my next question, which is what are your funding or technology gaps? Those are 2 gaps that you must address quite quickly as soon as you're looking into setting up a business. What is your funding gap? How much capital do you have for that particular business? How much capital do you need over the next 1 year? How much capital do you need over the next 5 years? You don't start a business and you only think about starting it now. You need to think about 1 year into the business, 6 months into the business, 1 year into the business, 5 years into the business. Can you keep on paying salaries for the next 6 months? Can you keep on paying, covering all your costs for your suppliers and your logistics and your delivery and all those other costs for the next 6 months, for the next 1 year, for the next 5 years? You need to think about what your funding gaps will be. How much growth potential do you see in the business? Will you have enough capital to cover or fund that growth? What will be the technology requirement as you grow the business? Would you be able to provide that technology? Where do you need to go to source that technology that will be required for the business? And the last question, which is also very critical, is where do you get the inputs for the business? Where are you going to source the inputs for the business? Are you going to be able to source them locally, or will you have to patronize the exchange rates and actually source your inputs from a foreign supplier? Now, your inputs are as key because they determine the quality of your product or the service that you're able to provide. So what exactly is the input that is required? Where are you going to be able to source them on a sustainable basis? Because over time, when you have to keep on sourcing your inputs from outside the country, changes in government policy may affect your business, changes in exchange rate may affect your ability to source, different lifestyle changes or customer taste may also affect your ability to source the right kind of input. So you want to ensure that you know exactly where your inputs are going to be coming from and how you're going to be able to source them sustainably in a way that you can continue to run your business. Those are 7 questions that I want to ensure that you know that you should always use when you are assessing a business idea that you want to get into. And I hope it helps.